in from Asta. He won blood, and he will get the Starboy ball. Easy way. Well, he wants a deja vu, actually for the ADC, as he gets late and open up with an extended pistol arrow. New is the kill lane.
That Peter gets the kill. There is the 3-man shopping. Body 1.3 ultimate. Explosive cast plus the Howling Gale. That is a double kill. Sarah will...
And right, Glenn will just be one shot after that. Blizzard eyeing Kaneko here, iconic as well. This will be a triple.
Welcome back, ladies and gents, as we head into our third matchup for the day for the Lenovo Low Collegiate Series. Of course, before anything else, let us introduce ourselves. We are going to be your casters. I am Arctic at your service, and of course, with me, welcome Vulcan. Hey,
it's
man.
good to be here right now in the last stage of the group stage. But not to mention, I would like to stretch out my congratulations to UP Diliman for securing their place into the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long journey for them, and going undefeated, that's pretty dang dope, man.
I mean, it's not just being undefeated. It's about sending a message that they've been consistent, and they've made it to the semifinals.
And they worked hard for it, not to mention. Like, I've been monitoring some of the teams, because like some of the teams I'm friends with on either Facebook or League of Legends, as far as how they go about things, how they practice as a team, how organized they are. Like, it definitely shows that it's not just them being talented, it's them working hard to get
dedication.
Exactly, that's the word.
You need dedication, sacrifice, and not to mention teamwork to make it this far. But to everyone else who made it to the group stages, of course, your efforts are always recognized.
Definitely.
Joining in from 48 teams to 16 teams, that is an accomplishment, and I hope to see you guys in the next term.
Exactly. Hopefully, mangarap lang tayo, guys. It doesn't hurt to dream. It kind of sounds wrong. Mangarap ka lang. Hopefully it goes to something.
Pangarap ka lang? It's like, just dream it, or you are your dream?
Mangarap ka, pero work hard for it. There you go.
Pangarap lang. So,
yeah, para hindi siya maging pangarap lang. Yeah, there you go. What? We're going into the pick and ban. Of course, this is a game between University of the Philippines, Diliman, and actually that will be
SLU.
SLU, St. Louis University.
It's kind of interesting to see that this time in the last match of Game 4, the first game, that we might see some picks that are unorthodox. You don't see it much often in the LCL. But note that this is more of a match we see how players can unwind. I mean, SLU, they made a good run, but UPD still came out on top with 6 points so far.
Yes, there we go. So let's go ahead and check out these picks. I actually love that you brought up. Hopefully we might see something unorthodox, but then again, knowing these teams, they're in it to win it. They probably wouldn't risk it as much. So pick so far, that's going to be Lee Sin locked in for Veer. We have seen how powerful Veer is on that Lee Sin, fancy footwork that he demonstrated in that last game. Not to mention Lucian and Thresh, mortal enemies in terms of lore, but we'll be doing together in the form of Blizzard and Neep for the bot lane. And whoa, Fiddlesticks.
That's
man.
right.
I'm gonna jump to that right away.
Well, we might be seeing us support Fiddlesticks.
I hope. Fingers crossed.
I mean, I don't know how it works, but I leave it up to DLSU, one of the top 16 teams that made it this far. They showed how it's done. But on UPD side, more of a really meta approach. We did see the Jace in the previous game, but looking at the lineup of DLSU, they're going to be going in for a more fun bottle lane.
Fun, yeah, definitely. I mean, it goes both ways na, they have a very unfortunate chance na baka hindi mag-qualify. But at the same time, why not have a little bit of fun, try to see if we can make it work.
Scout the enemy. I mean, take this time to see either just to measure how the enemy is, but
it's actually Lucian mid.
Wait.
Oh man. Wow.
Wait, I think that's going to
be... okay, may ano pala.
Yeah, that's more of an
error pala.
An error.
Yeah.
But
sayang.
Looking at
dang it.
It's Berserk really gonna be on the thresh though, but we have to see for ourselves that after the final switcheroo, we'll see the final lineup of UPD's last match in the group stages. I mean, what are your expectations going into the semifinals? I mean, something that is worth waiting for, worth going into, and something they've fought for ever since the beginning.
Well, to be honest, I'll be quite frank. One of the matchups that I'm really looking forward to in the semifinals is UPD Liman versus JB Lacson.
Oh,
Because
wow.
UPD Liman is one of the teams that we've expected to perform. Pero JB Lacson is one of those teams that came in like a wrecking ball. I can't think of it. I'm sorry. That was a bad pun. But yeah, they just came in and dominated. So like I'm such a fan of underdogs performing talaga, especially yung mga galing ng mga farther regions like the Visayas. Yeah, they're
But not to mention, JBL, not only did they actually make a surprising performance, but not mention, they actually defeated UPLB.
Yeah, there you go.
That's how you defeat them. Macro play. And they had the macro play.
Indeed. And it just goes to show na, I mean, kasi if I were in their shoes, admittedly kasi a lot of people think it's just mechanics, pero mindset definitely plays a significant role. So, andun kasing intimidation na I'm going up against players such as Neat, for example, UPD Liman, Daigo, you know, players with PGS experience. So, for you to have that confidence and emerge on top, na it just goes to show how not only positive, pero yung talagang laro kong laro, I don't care kung sino kalaban ko, I'm just gonna perform to the best of my ability. And JB Lacson really showed that. And I'm just really both proud and happy to see those type of teams na go into the LCL, you know, not letting any matchup phase them. They just played not heart's content, pero they just play their hearts out, and it really transpired. Pero anyways, going back into this matchup here,
Well,
SLU versus...
if we're going to be talking about the matchup between UPD versus the LSU, I gotta say it's going to be a very interesting rivalry, not just in the Rift, but also outside of the Rift. We've seen a lot of rivalry between these two schools, but let's hope that this will spark a new rivalry between inside the Rift itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a great point that you brought up. Kasi if you're gonna watch like the basketball leagues, may mga kanya-kanyang rivalry yan. So LoL Collegiate League, meron din tayong mga ganyan. We have, for example, although unfortunately parehong hindi nakapasok from this split, yung Our Lady of Fatima University versus University of Iloilo. Kasi nag-final sila before, and then they went up each other again in a grudge match noon, where all for won once again. So, may mga ganong rivalry tayo actually. And then there's the Ateneo UP in their same conference. So, may mga ganon rin tayo dito sa LoL Collegiate League.
Very interesting to see.
Yeah.
I mean, just because this game has no bearing at all, and I mean, UPD already secured their lock-in for the semifinals, but do you think the LSU will just let them have their way? I mean, if this ever is going to be a friendly match, I don't think it's going to be, because if ever the LSU does sweep UPD, that's going to give them a sour taste in their mouths.
No, it's not. I mean, kasi if you're gonna dominate, if you're gonna be the top within your group, why not like make it a very convincing?
Make it convincing.
Yeah.
But if ever the LSU does deny it, things are gonna go a bit, you know. I mean, if ever the LSU does take the first victory of the first game, we can expect that UPD will try and fight back with all they got, because despite just being a rabbit, a tiger will chase down its prey with full effort.
Yes, so tingnan natin. Anyways, just stay tuned guys. We're experiencing just some minor technical difficulties, pero syempre we'll be bringing the action as soon as we get that fixed out. So, yeah, let's talk about what's transpired thus far. So, like we mentioned, JB Lacson is one of the teams to make it to the next stage. Actually haven't heard. We'll have to discuss that later though. I'll have to recall which ko na pa yung isang team. But for the meantime, of course, we'll be taking a short break. When we be back, we'll get the action going. Of course, for the meantime, we have been your casters. This is Arctic at your service. With me, of course, is Vulcan. Stay tuned as we will be right back for the Lenovo LoL Collegiate League.
To serve the greater good. Violence to end violence.
Sure you can handle me? Fortune doesn't favor fools. From my mind to yours. Shall we resolve this dissonance?
Send me to battle. Your life is a burden. I bring you freedom.
Exterminate. Exterminate.
I will show you true power. Your journey ends here, hero.
Time for a true display of skill.
Exterminate. Exterminate.
Over here!
Welcome to your doom.
Let's have some real fun.
Game over.
Go
And there we go. Welcome back, ladies and gents, as we head straight into the action for our third matchup for the day between UPD Liman versus St. Louis University. Of course, make some noise in our YouTube or Facebook chat as to who you guys are rooting for. Do you guys want to see UPD go for their undefeated streak in the Interconference stage, or do you guys want to see SLU, our heroes from the North Luzon Conference, make a comeback and deny UPD that glory of an undefeated streak?
Well, SLU has always cast their 1-1s in their group stage, but let's see if they will break that, chain today.
And I'm really liking this pick for the mid lane for Zerk on the solution. It's a risk because they don't have AP, but at the same time, oh, there we go, though. Iconic getting caught out there by Vince.
Early actions already.
Indeed. Although no summoners exhausted exactly, so it's all good. It's all good. We're just going to take sit back, relax, check out what goes on in this game. Yeah, I mean...
I really like that SLU, despite this game has no bearing at all, but they are still willing to show them what they've got and what UPD missed. I mean, something about delivering or finishing up the group stages with a blast.
Indeed. And wow, I gotta take a moment to recognize the skin right here. Pulsefire Caitlyn very recently came out. Very, very nice. Riot did a great job on that skin, I must say. Do you have that yet? I don't have it yet.
Well, I've played with one of my friends who had a Pulsefire Caitlyn skin. He asked me, how can I refund this skin? Because he's fed.
Oh, no.
But enough of that. Enough of that. I mean,
yeah.
If you ever guys want your skin, you can get it using the gamer.com.
Yeah, of course. You guys need that extra Garena shell. So not sure where you could purchase, of course, if you're not gamer.com.ph for your Garena shells. Very, very nice indeed. But yeah, going into this game right now. So what I really like here is that both sides actually starting on adjacent sides of the map. So this will potentially transition to a top to mid lane gank. What's interesting though is that Iconic, it has this tendency to kind of push the lane a bit. And what I've noticed is that there's this trend where he's susceptible to early ganks as a result of that extension. So we'll just have to see if this might be something that SLU KRX will capitalize on. Maybe we'll just have to see.
But looking at the minimap right now, we can see that Graves is dangerously closing in onto Fierce's jungle with... Oh wow, he actually took away his blue buff with that victory dance.
Oh man, of course KRX will be able to escape because of that dash that he has. And I mean, this is actually interesting because in the previous game, that was something for Zerk did to DLSU. So the tides have turned. SLU kind of learning from that, learning a few tricks from Weir himself, and catch him off guard by stealing that blue. Good on KRX to actually time that smite as well.
But because KRX was able to steal the blue buff from Weir, this actually delays Weir's ganking potential. I mean, so the recent cooldown increased onto Lee Sin's kit. It's going to be very difficult for Weir to actually come back from that loss. But right now in the bottom lane, here comes the retaliation from UPD. An exhaust will be burnt, same as some heal. Both sides are going to be having trade-off, but in the mid lane, for Zerk though, on the mid Lucian, I gotta say, a mid Lucian really has the advantage when it comes to positioning.
Definitely. Not to mention the fact that, look at the damage that he was able to exert thus far on one Paris. He's not done just yet.
Relentless, and Weir showing himself in the mid lane. He did give up his blue buff towards KRX, but I don't think it's a huge loss. He was able to visit, make some presence known. That's something you have to account for, but it's really hard to see that KRX will be having the upper hand when it comes to level, gold, and EXP.
Not to mention the fact that if you're going to look back onto that, that actually gives UPD Liman the information that KRX got his red buff, does not have his blue buff during the time that he ganked Weir. As a result, Blizzard and Neeb actually, if you guys noticed, they were actually pushed in earlier, but because of the knowledge, knowing that KRX would transition into their blue buff towards the bot side, playing it a little bit more safer, farming under their turret. So this is the smallest bit of information really helps dictate whatever strategy that you need to, whether you need to kind of hold back on your lane, whether you have the opportunity to push, because information on the enemy jungler is so crucial.
Right now, Weir is not letting that blue buff go to waste, but that would be a gank. Bit of a not successful that much, but at least a summoner was burnt onto the support Nami. Savvy will not have the summoner up just yet.
I have got to commend Deep on this stretch. What I really like, if there's one person that actually does so proficiently on this stretch, if anything, has like roughly a 90% connect rate on that hook. It's neat actually, and even that hook earlier, even though it didn't connect, yung how it's the angle is just right on par as to
Yeah, it's like something that if it does not land, at least it was really close. I mean,
Exactly.
pixel close, side step wise, but I gotta really hand it to Nick too, man. He's been landing those hook shots at a very crucial time, but when it comes to into play, their range really throws him off.
Definitely something that he might need. Just he's almost there. Like 98.5, like 0.5, but yeah, definitely. One of the better Thresh, if not the best Thresh player in the LCL thus far. But yeah, so far, you know, both sides playing it a little bit more calmly. We have seen some small attempts, not necessarily translating to skills just yet, though. That is going to be a teleport down for Iconic, so this might be something that SLU could capitalize on should they decide to make some proactive play in the bot lane. Teleport stage, essentially, especially since that is a Poppy, so it is feasible.
But if ever the Poppy does make some teleport play, but it's going to be the Jace having an advantage in terms of pushing and denying CS. But looking at the CS right now, 40 to 28, that's more than 20. So looking at the differentials, and the gold is steadily stacking up. But this can all be changed to whoever gets the first blood. Who will it be? And if you ever give a first blood, anyone can use that advantage, that EXP, to build something that will help them snowball.
Not to mention, with the exception of the jungler, like almost all the lanes of UPD Liman actually up on CS quite a lot. That's actually 58 CS if you're gonna count the procs from the Relic Shield from the Wall. That's like 59 to 46, but here comes KRX.
KRX just making a visit, but Berserk does not have enough mana. But I gotta hand it to the mid Lucian. It's something that it's been recently picked up. Kind of hard to counter, especially right now in the meta for the mid laners. Orianna, Syndra, except for Ari and LeBlanc. But most common picks are usually a Syndra or an Orianna. But gotta say, I don't know how Berserk can use this for his potential to scale in the late game, seeing that he did start with the Doran's Blade, and again with 2 Dorans and a boost of speed.
I kind of see what they're going for here, because the good thing about Lucian, sure, you do, if you're going to look at the composition of UPD, you might be thinking, they don't really have the AP, so what happens if...
Berserk's pursuit cut short from the shockwave, but no killing blow yet, but right now we would be expecting a gank from Veer. Level 6 now, he does have the dragon range up, plus the flash.
Sayang, if Antares actually had the... Oh, hold that thought right there.
And here it is, the Ignite is popped out onto him, and Berserk instead gives the first blood to Veer.
Wraps up.
That's going to be something that Veer wanted, though. That lead, he did lose the blue buff, and now it has been negated with the first blood.
So yeah, there we go. Again, sayang actually, Antares, had he had the extra mana to take down Berserk earlier, I could see what he was going for. Kinapos lang talaga sa mana, so sayang. But yeah, nonetheless, that's definitely a great start for UPD Liman. And at the same time, anyways, going back to the point that I was making earlier, you might look at UPD thinking that, aren't they locking the AP? But if you're gonna look at it, what I'm potentially assuming, because at the same time, think of what will happen if like 2 members of UPD Liman go for like items such as Black Cleaver. Imagine all the armor that you tear down as a result, and because of consistent 80 damage, there's a lot of people that benefit from that. So it kind of goes both ways. But yeah, looks like Berserk very confident on Lucian. And if I'm not mistaken, Lucian mid is actually something that you see in other regions.
And not to mention, it's getting popularity in the local scene, seeing that it is now being picked up in the LCL. But right now, I guess Veer's pretty happy with the first blood. He did get the same item as KRX. 10 CS behind, not of a big deal because of the first blood, but is it crucial for Veer to get it? Normally, wouldn't Berserk benefit more from that? I mean, 200 assists from the first blood is okay, but you gotta put Berserk on a fast track to snowball that mid lane and go to bottom lane, then top lane, and then win the game and secure it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely up. It's all up to Veer in which case.
But right now, I think that for SLU, they're gonna be playing on the ropes right now. I mean, they haven't been putting out so much pressure despite having the jungle Graves. But right now, that would be changed. Keeper's verdict for the knockup. Iconic has been slowed by the red buff, forcing out his flash.
Oh man, that is of course the somewhat worse, but looks like Berserk and Antares.
Oh, here comes the calling. Will he go down though? That's a lot of HP down, and that would be Berserk's smile.
Yes, but look at the damage to Antares.
Yikes.
Forced to just kind of resign himself to
Oh, Berserk is not letting down at all. When he knows that enemy is in kill range, he will go in. He's gonna try and kill him, but right now, with all the commotion going on, we can see that UPD trying to get the Infernal Drake, the first Drake of the game at 10-minute mark.
And you know, KRX is kind of far away from actually even potentially respond to this. That being said, that is going to be an easy Infernal Drake for UPD Liman. First Drake of the game.
That's going to be very helpful for Iconic and Berserk, but right now, Berserk went a bit too deep, forcing out his flash. KRX is there for the defense.
Yeah, but not bad though. First Zerk, you can definitely see the confidence.
Oh wow, 4-man gank onto SLU's bomb lane. Let's see how it turns out. Virk snaps him off with 2-man Dragon Rage. Knockout, but Neep seeks the field. Same with Iconic on the 4-man gank in the bomb lane.
Oh man, a Drake plus potentially a first turret. And they have all the tools to potentially do that. It looks like members of UPD Liman will be backing. But no, Iconic actually decides to stay, as they do see that this first turret is very much feasible to take down.
Wow. Infernal Drake, first turret, first blood, all to UPD. What does this happen for SLU?
Well, I mean, SLU,
they have to shape up.
They definitely need to shape up, because as far as proactivity, as far as oh my goodness.
Ow! Because Death Sand is underneath though, but no follow up. But that would be more of a really bad trade. I mean, blue buff for 2 turrets? And right now, Vince, I don't think he has any idea right now in the Riverside. That's pitch black for them.
Yeah, but I gotta commend UPD Liman. The confidence that they have in this game is definitely there. I mean, it's definitely a good boost. Going 2-0 against the LSU, there's definite, ang laking boost nun sa morale. In comparison to SLU having gone 1-1 in their game earlier. So, yeah, I mean, UPD Liman clearly in it to win it. They have the resolve to win this game. Tingnan natin if this will actually transition to a win.
I gotta say, but looking at the numbers right now, it's favored UPD, but they have to close the game. It's now 12 minutes into the game. So far, not a huge lead yet. Not that huge. SLU can still catch up, but it has to be KRX. He's on a grave. He has to gank early. I mean, he has to pressure either the top or the mid, but that's all gone to ruins. But right now, Berserk goes all in onto Antares, but pays the price for a shockwave and giving a kill onto Antares. A much-needed kill, but right now, Veer intervenes a bit too late. That'll be 2 members, very low in kill range. Neat though, landing the death sentence connects onto KRX, but here comes Savvy with a Nami support for the heal, but won't be enough. Veer sweeps and kills the jungler of SLU, but that won't be it. Savvy will be taken down. I mean, Veer's not giving up, going very deep in, but gets punished for his greediness.
I mean, I definitely saw what he was going for there. Those were some very juicy low targets, but luckily Antares did have the still had quite the mana to have access to his skills. Ultimately is able to save Savvy, transitioning still in favor heavily of UPD Liman.
Oh, Veer does not know when to stop. I mean, you already see your ally, but I think Neep is here to clean up for his team. Not so far. We do see Antares in kill range. The Deathbox is there. But will Vince give the chase? I don't think he should, but he's a bit tempted.
He kind of underestimated Thresh's hit right there.
Yeah.
Thinking that he would get the knockback into the wall, but luckily Thresh does have that play. So let's go ahead and check out what happened here though. So Blizzard and Legolas actually, they transitioned into the lane swap already. So, you know, they're just farming it, but here comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming in from Legolas. So very well played. So it's basically a duel between these AD carries here, but ultimately it's Blizzard because he was able to get a step ahead of Legolas, and because of that range, ultimately, wherein Legolas couldn't follow up after that Caliber Net, really worked in his favor.
And not to mention, naturally, Katie able to win on duel against Ashe because the point blank Crystal Arrow is not a really considerable stun, not much damage, and not to mention Blizzard has the control with those traps.
Indeed. And kung titingnan nyo, actually, I could kind of see why they went for it, because kung titingnan mo yung itemization ng dalawang sides, almost even kanina. Pero ngayon medyo umangat si Blizzard na may zeal ngayon because of getting that kill early. But yeah, I mean, this will only make UPD a lot more potent. And again, SLU has to be a little bit more proactive, if anything. Like you mentioned, KRX on a Graves expected to perhaps ease some of the tension in the lanes as far as the early game, but since that didn't work out, it's too late indeed. Exactly. And
I mean, 50 minutes of the game, your KD 0-1-2, 2 assists, not impactful enough for SLU to come back from this deficit. Not to mention, there is some hope for the mid laner Antares with a 2-1-0 KDA with a Gulp 100, but will it be enough? I mean, the GLP 100 is not really a huge
Rift
combat
Herald
item, but yes, the Rift Herald is now in the bot lane of SLU with 4 members converging in. They're going to be using this to the fullest.
oh man, UPD definitely.
Oh man, here comes
be very
the
interesting.
most awaited, and there it is. Rift Herald does make it in, but the minion wave wise, SLU does have the wave clear and the advantage. So I guess that would be a sort of a win-win situation. They did get one turret with a turret score of 4-0.
7,000 gold lead at 16 minutes is absolutely insane for this game between UPD and Insane. If anything, I was actually expecting this to potentially be a little bit more closer because SLU is one of those teams that's actually pretty good coming from the North Luzon region. But still, UPD Liman, like I mentioned, they've worked so hard to get where they're at right now, finally paying off. I guess it's both surprising and not surprising at the same time, if that even makes sense.
As far as I know, UPD has that tendency. They have that mindset and goal to end the game as early as they can, to match with one of the top competing teams in the region, not to mention in the international scene. But SLU right now, they are actually doing a really good job stalling, but right now, Crystal Owl will land on the Iconic. He does flash away and wasted ultimate for Antares.
Oh man, UPD Liman. That was interesting though. Although, I galit naman SLU, ito nga yung sinasabi ko, they're trying to make plays. But it looks like UPD.
Man, Veer has just been trying and trying to take back that blue buff he lost in the early part of the game, but he's just not getting any luck at all.
Just wants the vengeance, but looks like he will content himself with getting a Drake though.
Yeah, of course, getting an Infernal, getting a Cloud Drake is more important than a blue buff. He's happy with that, and not to mention, this lead that's stacking up for UPD, right now sitting in close to 7,000, and right now, look at them. They're in the mid lane. They just pushed the bottom lane and now to the mid lane, pressuring SLU. SLU will excel well when it comes to the later part of the game, but I don't think UPD is going to wait for that.
I love the rotations coming in from UPD naman. It's very textbook, but very, very effective at the same time. But then again, textbook sometimes is all you need to win games. And
there it is. The standoff between SLU and UPD. Ultimates are all off for both teams, except for Veer. He will not have his Ignite ready for that sweet secure. Summoners are up, except for Iconic. If ever there's a tower dive, SLU will have an advantage when it comes to disengaging. The tidal wave is up, but I don't think they will even have a chance to disengage from that.
There we go, UPD playing their classic split push with Iconic distracting in a different lane, getting some push on in. It's yikes indeed, like not a single objective taken from by St. Louis University yet. It's totally in UPD's hands right now, and they're just playing them like a, I don't even know how to put it, Enchanted Crystal, soaring, flying, not connecting.
Not connecting, and not to mention, even though it connects, there is not enough damage for SLU to follow up. What can they do? They have to wait it out. I mean, look at Ash. 0-2-0, Legolas is not really performing up par. He does not have the proper items to deliver that 80 damage. Despite UPD not having any AP, it's not really a problem. The only reason why you have AP is to have that burst, the AoE. But I think UPD already covered that out with Iconic and on Berserk.
And not to mention the fact that if you're going to look at Oriana's itemization, I don't really take anybody down just yet. Not at all.
Yeah, I don't understand the GLP 100 itemization. Does it work well for Oriana? In my opinion, I don't think so. More of a Morello or more CDR mana would be beneficial. Not to mention the Grievous Wood that will really lower down the lifesteal for Berserk. But right now we do see the Vince is in a big trouble. He does fling away Neat, but that's an ultimate wasted for Vince. I mean, if ever UPD does convert to the mid lane or the top lane, SLU, they don't have enough tools.
Look at the confidence though. Even though Iconic's way across the map has that confidence because this summoner teleport is up. So yeah, I mean, there's just so many options for UPD Liman at this point that SLU doesn't really have anything much to do except for this.
This is going to be very exciting, seeing how UPD is fighting this last match, game 1, like this. I'm pretty confident they'll do well in the semifinals, but SLU, they have to step up. There is still hope for SLU to fight back the advances of UPD, but with a 10k deficit in whole terms of objectives, I mean, look at that, 6 turrets, 2 Drakes, and on top of that, a Baron buff. SLU, their composition is not doing so well because it's up to the jungler to dictate the flow. The pressure was not there. KRX did take a blue buff, but what did he do with it? Did he ever give pressure to the mid lane? Maybe he should have over Antares the blue buff. That would have changed the flow of the laning phase.
Indeed. And that's actually a great point that you brought up. Kasi kung titignan mo lalo yung composition ng SLU, but early game, you have all these champions that will easily set up a gank for you. Poppy just needs to knock back Iconic into a wall. Antares just needs to slow down Berserk. And then Nami, just the bubble. Like, you have access to that bubble early on. So it's actually interesting that we didn't see that kind of proactive play from KRX in the early game. That being said, SLU is paying for it dearly as a team because of that lack of initiative within the first 10 minutes from the jungler.
Ace in the hole just to scare off Antares. Here comes the enhanced minion wave from the Baron buffs.
That's looking very juicy. Of course, Iconic split pushing in that bot lane as well. SLU forced to respond.
The pressure is just too much. SLU, 5-man mid lane, leaving Iconic alone in the bot lane to have some fun there. Not to mention, look at those traps laid by Blizzard.
Look at Iconic, 212 CS at 20.
Is it okay to use all that out of fear? He does resonate towards his teammates, leaving Iconic in a very awkward spot, but I don't think SLU will push through with that. Look at the pressure at UPD bringing it into the mid lane. 4 traps at the entrance. They can even step into one, knowing that Deep is there to land his hook.
As much as SLU rather wants to try to collapse onto UPD, they did technically have that opportunity earlier with Iconic, but because of that Baron wave, it's just so hard for them to actually commit to these pickoffs. And that's the beauty about UPD Liman. They just 2 steps ahead in everything that they do thus far in these recent games. If anything, they've been improving and improving and improving.
Those traps are very restricting their movement. I mean, it's so oppressive for SLU. They need that tanker. Where's Vince? He has to really soak up damage, but looking at how the flow of the game worked out and a gold lead of 11,000 just goes to show that Vince didn't have enough time to pick up defensive items, leaving him very vulnerable. And right now, the inhibitor turret is gone. KRX will be soaking up a lot of damage. Iconic switches to Sally. Berserk is there to really dish out so much damage on the Vince. He just gets deleted. None of a threat. Berserk is not leaving without getting his another kill. A very sad engage coming from SLU, and I think UPD sticking close to their commitment of trying to end a game less than 20 minutes. 2 inhibitors are down. Make that I make that a 3rd inhibitor maybe. And looking at SLU, deprived of objectives. UPD just wins this by pure macro play.
Whatever chance SLU has to potentially come back into this game, no matter, that was like, they had like the smallest chance. But because of all these inhibitor takes from UPD, it's almost 99.9% game over for SLU at this point. They just have, I just can't see any potential way that they could come back into this game. This is, look at the goal difference, 15,000 at more than 20 minutes into the game. That's just a huge lead that's so almost impossible to come back into, especially the only way that they could potentially pick off a kill from UPD is if UPD themselves are careless, which is pretty much almost impossible at this point. Exactly, not gonna happen, boy.
Boy, SLU. It's not just the gold deficit they have. I mean, that also equates to how much items you have, but is Sunfire against the Jace is a really good item, but I really gotta say that the GLP 100 on an Orianna is not that effective. A Morello would have been so much better. I mean, better for the Orianna because of the Grievous Wound of the Berserk. He did rush the Blade of the Ruined King, so in terms of dueling potential, Berserk would have been lowered down because of the passive coming in from the Morello. But that was not the case.
Oh man, exactly. And you know, tingnan natin if this will how this will work out for SLU. And then this might be their last defense as UPD walking into their base right now. Tingnan natin kung nangyayari mga kaibigan.
Okay, Veer connect sets up for the resonating strike. Will not follow it up. They're just gonna let the minions do the work, but Veer is really trying to look for an opening. Vince, it's way back and in the lineup for his team. Very helpless, and that would be a land onto Lee. And the tidal wave is used up. No more tools left for SLU to retaliate with the UPD diving into the Nexus turret, but gets flinged away by Vince.
Oh man, looks like this is potentially going to be game. Kareem, 2 members of SLU down.
That would be it, I guess. I mean, 2 members of SLU down. No Nexus turrets are available up. Nexus is exposed. UPD sweeping a very clean game for game 1.
Wow.
They're gonna have it. I mean, SLU, they got 0 turrets in the game. Just goes to show how rotations come into play. Those
Exactly. Rotations, macro, micro, every single small detail counts. UPD exhibited that to the T right there in that game, and I don't know, man. That's definitely a huge. Like I mentioned, UPD has a huge morale boost from their game earlier. That win, that they pretty much crushed the competition, I'd say, and it didn't even it's not even necessarily through the kills. Again, of course, this is something that actually a lot of players can learn from. Just the general macro play, denying objectives one by one, and look, it definitely reflects. This is the perfect example of a game that you don't need to continue to kill in order to win. Like, all they needed was 10 kills. And
yeah, when you're in a group where UPD is, you're in a big trouble. Just from that game itself, and not to mention their clean streak so far still remains. It's a clear-cut message. I mean, UPD is gonna really make it to the semifinals, make a statement, show them what they've got. Just for the group stage itself, they won it by such a long shot, but looking at the damage.
My goodness.
Boy.
I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, the damage all across the board. Like, the only person that was actually even able to overtake a significant carry was Oriana, which overtook Veer, but that's not really substantial if you're going to compare it to the main damage dealers, being the Lucian, the Caitlyn, and the Jace at the same time. Like, Veer was just basically there for the setup. I mean, we'll just have to see as to how this will eventually translate in our last game later on between SLU and UPD Demand. But of course, for the meantime, we're going to be taking a quick break as we have been your casters. Arctic at your service. With me, of course, is the mighty Vulcan. We'll be right back, so stay tuned to the Lenovo Local Agent League.
It's gone here. Excellent, soaking up a lot of damage. Iconic 60 Sally for Circus there to really dish out so much damage out of it. He just gets deleted. None of a threat for Circus, not leading.
Land on to Lee. And the tidal wave is used up. No more tools left for SLU to retaliate. With the UPD diving into the Nexus turret, but gets flinged away by Vince.
Oh man, looks like this is potentially going to be game. 2 members of SLU down.
That would be it, I guess. I mean, 2 members of SLU down. No Nexus turrets are available up. Nexus is exposed. UPD sweeping a very clean game for game 1.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.
Let's give it a shot. You and I on the court. Time ticking on the clock. Baby, I'ma try to score. Cause you the hottest on the block. Nothing dim in your light. But all the options that you got wouldn't ever treat you right. No, I don't need a telescope to see that you're the one. But I do need your time, and if it ain't yours, I'd rather have none. I don't need a fortune teller to tell me my fortune. I have a million signs that my fortune just begun. You got me jumping like boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. Wanna hold you down. Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. Wanna hold you down. I said back at it again with the jump shot. I'm aiming for you and I won't stop. Back at it again with the jump shot. We could lock it down, never unlock. I said back at it again with the jump shot. I'm aiming for you and I won't stop. Back at it again with the jump shot. We could lock it down only if we give it a shot. You and I on the court. Time ticking on the clock. Baby, I'ma try to score. Cause you the hottest on the block. Ain't nothing dim in your light. But all the options that you got wouldn't ever treat you right. Oh, oh. I don't need a telescope to see that you're the one. But I do need your time, and if it ain't yours, I'd rather have none. Ooh, yeah. I don't need a fortune teller to tell me my fortune. I have a million signs that my fortune just begun. You got me jumping like boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. Wanna hold you down? Oh no! Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. Wanna hold you down? I said back at it again with the jump shot. I'm aiming for you and I won't stop. Back at it again with the jump shot. We could lock it down, never unlock. I said back at it again with the jump shot. I'm aiming for you and I won't stop. Back at it again with the jump shot. We could lock it down, never unlock. Jumping into something, I don't really know what to expect. But out of your team, you're the MVP and you'll never be less. And baby, the past was nothing but practice, now I'm set. When you give me access, I just shoot my heart into your chest. You got me jumping like boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. Wanna hold you down? Boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. Wanna hold you down?
Huwag mo sabihin na naman isang kolehiya na hindi ko maintindihan. Huwag na nating idaan sa maboteng usapan, lalo lang madaragdagan ang sakit ng ulo at bibig sa tiyan. Anong sarap kami naging magkaibigan, napuno ako ng pag-asa. Yun pala, hanggang doon lang ang kaya. Akala ko ay pwede pa. Masakit mang isipin, kailangang tanggapin kung kailan ka naging seryoso, saka kanya gagaguhin. Oh, Diyos ko, ano ba naman ito? Di ba tangina? Nagmukha akong tanga, pinaasa niya lang ako. Lecheng pag-ibig to. Diyos ko, ano ba naman ito? Sabi niya, ayaw na munang magkasyota. Dehins ako naniwala. Di nagtagal, naging ganun na rin ang tema. Kulang na lang ay sagot niya. Ba't ba ang labo niya? Di ko maipinta. Hanggang kailan maghihintay? Ako ay nabuburat na. Pero minamahal ko siya, di biro. TL ako sa kanya. Alam kong nababaduyan ka na sa mga sinasabi ko, pero sana naman ay maintindihan mo. O pare ko, meron ka ba maipapayo? Kung wala,